the capture of Jesus Alfredo Guzman Salazar, known as El Gordo, the alleged son of Joaquin Guzman Loera, El Chapo Guzman. 14 years have passed since that moment. For the Mexican Navy and for Mexico as a whole, it was presented as a victory, but in reality, it was far from the truth. Introduced to the country as one of the sons of the world's most wanted criminal at the time, Joaquin Guzman, this young man was said to be Jesus Alfredo Guzman Salazar. But only shortly after his public presentation did authorities realize the truth. This young man had no connection to the Guzman family. It had been a false alarm, because the real Alfredillo, as he is known, has never set foot in a prison, not once, in his 39 years of life. Jesus was born on May 17, 1986, in Zapopan, Jalisco, the son from El Chapo's first marriage to Alejandrina Salazar. She is also the mother of Ivan Archibaldo. Jesus Alfredo belongs to what many call the latest generation of narco juniors. He is the middle son, along with his half-brother Joaquin Guzman, only 2 months apart. That same brother is now serving a sentence in the United States and is believed to be the one responsible for turning in the legendary Sinaloa boss who had never been imprisoned. Ismael El Mayo Zambada. Information about Jesus Alfredo's personal life is scarce. His presence has always been in the shadows, even before his father's arrest. Records indicate he began operating around 2006, and by 2009 he was already appearing on nearly every U.S. law enforcement list, targeted for his involvement in trafficking operations as part of the Chapitos faction, led then and now by him and his brother. The reward for locating him has increased dramatically. It began at $5 million from agencies like the DEA and the U.S. Treasury Department, and today stands at $10 million. The same amount is offered for his brother and for Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, El Mencho, placing all three among the most sought-after individuals in Mexico and the United States. According to multiple reports, Jesus Alfredo and his brothers spent years assisting in their father's operations, including coordinating drug shipments from South and Central America through Mexico and into the United States. Over time, he expanded his role, moving into synthetic drug production, especially fentanyl, a synthetic opioid that sparked a global network involving China, which has become the primary supplier of the chemical precursors used to produce the drug in hidden labs throughout Mexico's mountainous regions. This shift is one of the main reasons his bounty rose to $10 million. The United States is currently facing a public health crisis fueled by fentanyl, a substance that has flooded major cities like Chicago. By 2018, Jesus Alfredo was already on the DEA's list of the 10 most wanted individuals. In July 2012, the Office of Foreign Assets Control placed him on its blacklist for involvement in illicit drug trafficking. At the time, the agency published addresses of locations where the trafficker was allegedly living. Among the information released were 8 properties reportedly linked to him. The most notable, a property listed for sale at 32,100,000 Mexican pesos. The land covers 1,000 square meters, with brown gates and a white facade. Records indicate the property was built around 33 years ago. In 2016, one of the most significant events in his life took place, an event that pushed his name into the public spotlight. He was kidnapped alongside his brother Ivan Archibaldo inside a well-known restaurant called La Leche in Puerto Vallarta, Jalisco. At the time, the region was controlled by their biggest rival, the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, led by Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes. Ironically, in 2024, the Chapitos and the CJNG would reportedly join forces in an attempt to challenge the faction, led by the son of El Mayo Zambada. Witness accounts collected by the state prosecutor describe how several armed men arrived in 2 vehicles, a Toyota Tacoma and a Chevrolet Suburban, and took a group of people from the restaurant. The tension didn't last long. Shortly after, the brothers were released following an alleged intervention by El Mayo Zambada, who was said to have reached an agreement with Oseguera Cervantes to ensure their freedom. After that incident, a series of reports began to circulate linking Jesus Alfredo to Colombia, specifically Medellin, Antioquia. In 2018, stories spread that he moved throughout luxury areas of Envigado and El Poblado, the latter being one of the wealthiest sectors in Medellin. An investigation by Mexico's Proceso magazine, published by Colombia's El Tiempo, indicated that Guzman Salazar arrived in the region shortly after his liberation from the CJNG kidnapping. While in Medellin, he was reportedly protected by La Terraza, a faction of La Oficina, an organized crime group based in Envigado. According to the report, he moved through Envigado, El Poblado, and Palmas under a different identity, always with extreme caution. The report claimed he arrived in September 2016 and even built a cocaine lab in a semi-rural area of Envigado. Proceso also revealed that Jesus Alfredo traveled to Colombia to finalize large-scale cocaine deals on behalf of the Sinaloa cartel. Colombian authorities, the national police, and the FBI began picking up clues, suggesting one of El Chapo's sons was indeed in Medellin. But they lost the trail, only for it to resurface briefly in 2018. Again, they failed to capture him in time. Jesus Alfredo is probably the least publicly known of El Chapo's sons, but he is undeniably one of the most involved in the family business. Colombian police have classified him and Ivan as top priority targets in their fight against drug trafficking. Their rewards, as mentioned earlier, now stand at $10 million each. According to the DEA, the Guzman Salazar brothers have not only continued their father's work, they have expanded it. New routes, new alliances, and deeper involvement in trafficking networks. But the substance that truly placed them under the strongest spotlight is fentanyl. The synthetic opioid has become a gold mine for criminal groups due to its low production costs and rapid synthesis compared to natural drugs. Mass production yields enormous profit margins, but at an equally massive human cost. Each pill becomes a deadly gamble because no user ever really knows how much fentanyl it contains. This is why the United States is targeting every cartel involved in producing the drug. In 2023 and 2024, Jesus Alfredo and his brother reportedly imposed a complete ban on the production and trafficking of fentanyl, likely a response to legal pressure following the capture of their brother, Alfredo Guzman. But according to the DEA and U.S. government agencies, this ban never materialized. Trafficking has only continued to increase. The Chapitos have built a quiet but powerful bridge with several Chinese companies, a network that moves far beyond simple transactions. Through intermediaries and shell suppliers, they obtain the chemical precursors needed to manufacture their synthetic opioid, a substance that has reshaped entire markets in North America. These companies, some fully legal on paper, operate in a gray zone where regulations are thin and accountability is even thinner. For the Chapitos, this partnership isn't just business, it's an industrial pipeline that keeps their operation alive, precise, and constantly evolving. Today, Jesus Alfredo leads the offensive with his brother to dismantle the faction aligned with Ismael Zambada, specifically Mayado Flaco, the son who inherited part of El Mayo's operations. Since then, Alfredillo has maintained an extremely low profile, with almost no reliable information about his location, though it is believed he moves throughout different areas of Sinaloa. This brings us to the end of this video. As always, Krater reminds you, this content exists solely to document, analyze, and inform about real events. At no point do we seek to promote or glorify crime or any criminal organization. Welcome, and we'll see you soon.